Hello everyone, I am Ashutosh Jadhav and welcome to the Med Talk. Now today's topic is going to be the lichen planus and the guest is going to be a very well-known dermatologist, Dr. Ashwini.
Everyone, I'm Dr. Ashwini. I'm a dermatologist. Today I'm going to be talking about lichen planus. So what do we understand by the word lichen? Lichen means tree moss and planus means plain topped. So lichen planus is a chronic inflammatory disorder of unknown etiology affecting skin, mucous membrane, hair and nail. Clinically it is characterized by 6 P's. One is plain topped, the other is pruritic, polygonal, purple, papule and plaque. Incidence is around 0.2 to 1%. There is no racial predilection and it's seen in all age groups and both the sexes. But it is more common in the 30 to 60 year age group. Familial cases are also reported. So what is the etiopathogenesis? Lichen planus is triggered by various antigenic triggers. So these antigenic triggers can be in the form of infections. So all the H's you have to remember, that is HIV, HBV, HCV, HHP, HPV. And when it comes to drugs, you need to remember ABC, ACE inhibitors, beta blockers, calcium channel blockers. Okay, and the other thing what you have to remember is dental amalgams. Oral amalgams are also implicated in case of lichen planus. So basically what happens is, because of this antigenic trigger, there is lymphocyte activation which causes keratinocyte apoptosis. So because of which there is the basal keratinocyte apoptosis. Okay. So clinically it is characterized by mild to severe pruritus, and then there is small polygonal violaceous flat top papules and plaques. And over these plaques you can see something called as Wickham striae. What is Wickham striae? It is nothing but a network of white striations or crisscross lines. Okay, and these papules are widespread and they can coalesce into large plaques. Koebner's phenomenon is commonly seen in case of lichen planus. Koebner's phenomenon is seen in mainly 3 conditions. One is psoriasis, vitiligo and lichen planus. What do you mean by Koebner's phenomenon? Koebner's phenomenon means development of lesions along the lines of trauma over the normal skin. So what are the most common sites? The first most common site is this. This is the flexor aspect of the wrist. The other common regions are forearms, hands, legs, neck and sacral areas. It can also be seen in case of oral mucosa, genitalia, scalp and nails. Okay. When it comes to nail lichen planus, we need to remember 2 most important things. One is pterygium, and this pterygium is proximal pterygium. As soon as you see the word pterygium, you need to remember that there are 2 types of pterygium. One is the proximal, one more is the ventral. This proximal is nothing but from this proximal nail fold to the nail bed, there is a fixation which is caused. That is, so there will be like a wing-shaped deformity which is causing pterygium. Okay, and if it is from the ventral aspect, you have to remember that it is because of connective tissue disorder and not because of lichen planus. The other nail sign that you can see is something called as puck tent sign. So there is a tent. So there is this nail and then there is a tent over it. So that is nothing but puck tent sign. What are the other changes that you can see? One is lateral thinning, longitudinal ridging, fissuring. Also there can be yellowish discoloration, onycholysis, subungual hyperkeratosis and 20-nail dystrophy, which is more common in case of children. Okay, and oral lichen planus, the prevalence is around 0.5 to 2.2%. And oral lesions usually occur in almost 70 to 77% of the cutaneous LP lesions. Here also you can see the reticular, that is the whitish linear lines in a lace-like pattern, and the most common site for oral lichen planus would be the retromolar buccal mucosa. Okay, and the various types of oral lichen planus that you can see are erosive or the ulcerative variant. Why is this important? Because there is an increased risk of squamous cell carcinoma in case of erosive LP. The other types of oral lichen planus that you can see are atrophic, bullous, papular, plaques and pigmented. These lesions can also be seen even on the tongue, and at times gingival mucosa can also be involved. And genital lichen planus is also seen. This is more common in men. It can be seen as annular lesions over the glans penis. Over here also we can see erosive lesions. Again, whenever there is erosive lesion, you need to remember that there is increased chance of malignancy. Let us talk about the histopathology. Okay, so basically how will you say that okay, this is a case of lichen planus? First would be clinical, the second would be you need to take a biopsy of the lesion, okay, and then you can see the histopathology. You can see something called as hyperkeratosis because there is a lot of plaques and there is a lot of layers which is caused, so there will be some amount of hyperkeratosis. Also, because of this Bickham striae, there is something called as focal hypergranulosis. So what is granulosis? That means that the stratum granulosum layer is increased. Because of the apoptosis of the keratinocytes, there will be liquefaction of the basal layer, that is basal cell degeneration. There will be a band like lymphocytic infiltrate. Just remember the pathogenesis that I had mentioned. There is antigenic trigger, there is T lymphocyte activation. After that, there is basal keratinocyte apoptosis. So if you remember these three things, you'll be able to tell about the histopathology. One would be the hyperkeratosis like I just mentioned. The other is hypergranulosis, that is the wedge-shaped hypergranulosis, which is seen in wherever you can see the Bickham striae. There will be that focal hypergranulosis. Next would be basal cell degeneration, band-like lymphocytic infiltrate, which is present in the papillary dermis. Okay, and then because of this dyskeratotic keratinocytes, because of the dyskeratosis of the basal layer, you can see something called as colloid or Civate bodies, which is present more commonly in the lower epidermis and the upper dermis. So what is the differential diagnosis? Differential would be, the first thing would be lichenoid drug eruptions. The other differentials would be disseminated eczema, scabies, prurigo nodularis, psoriasis. Prognosis, it's a self-limiting disorder. It usually resolves with hyperpigmentation within around 3 to 9 months. There can be recurrences, and you need to remember that the oral lesions can be pre-malignant, or especially the erosive ones. And in case of scalp, there can be something called as lichen planopilaris. So what is lichen planopilaris? Lichen planopilaris is nothing but is characterized by scarring alopecia of the scalp. Okay, lichen planus involving the scalp can be in the form of cicatricial or scarring alopecia. Why is this alopecia caused? This is because the lymphocytes, like I mentioned, because of the antigenic trigger, there is this lymphocyte activation, right? So these lymphocytes go and sit around the upper portion of the hair follicle. So that is the reason there is scarring alopecia in case of lichen planus. Let's talk about the associations of lichen planus. Lichen planus is an autoimmune disorder. Whenever you think about an autoimmune disorder, you need to remember that they will be associated with other autoimmune disorders. What are the other autoimmune disorders? It can be SLE, it can be dermatomyositis, it can be rheumatoid arthritis, diabetes also can be associated. So there are two syndromes which you need to remember when it comes to lichen planus. One is Jolly syndrome. How I remember is jolly would be like someone who is like happy-go-lucky, so that person may end up getting diabetes. So I remember Jolly syndrome as lichen planus with diabetes. So whenever you're talking about diabetes, the other counterpart would be hypertension. So the other syndrome is Grispan syndrome, where there is lichen planus with hypertension. We say that this case is a case of lichen planus. One would be clinical, which we just now covered. The other would be to take a biopsy of the lesion and see the histopathology. So what do we see in case of histopathology of lichen planus? One is hyperkeratosis, the other is hypergranulosis. All these areas, that is the Bickham striae that we just mentioned, that is the white lacy pattern, they are nothing but focal hypergranulosis. Also, we can see basal layer degeneration, and we can see band-like lymphocytic infiltrate. Remember, in the pletopathogenesis, I had mentioned that there will be an antigenic trigger, there will be a lymphocyte activation, and then there will be basal layer apoptosis. So because of this apoptosis, we can see there is dyskeratotic keratinocytes also present in the case of histopathology. That is nothing but Civate bodies or colloid bodies. And where are these located? These are located in the lower epidermis and the upper dermis. Move on to the differential diagnosis. Okay, the first most common differential diagnosis would be lichenoid drug eruption. The other is disseminated eczema, scabies, prurigo nodularis, psoriasis, secondary syphilis, and pityriasis rosea. Prognosis is a self-limiting condition. It usually resolves with hyperpigmentation within around 3 to 9 months, but then there can be recurrences, and you need to remember oral lesions, they can be pre-malignant. and scarring alopecia can be seen in case of lichen planopilaris. So what is the treatment? Treatment, it can be in the form of topical for localized lichen planus lesions. It can be in the form of potent corticosteroids. Otherwise, it can be steroid sparing agents in the form of tacrolimus or pimecrolimus. Also, in case of hypertrophic lichen planus, we can give intralesional steroids. Phototherapy is also given as a mode of treatment. Systemic therapy in the form of antihistamines, because it, like I mentioned, it is a very pruritic disorder, so you need to give antihistamines. And also in case of acute or generalized lichen planus, we would give systemic corticosteroids, probably like oral prednisolone 0.5 to 1 mg per kg for around 2 to 6 weeks. Other implicated treatments are acitretin, griseofulvin, metronidazole, hydroxychloroquine, sulfasalazine, cyclosporin. If you have any doubts regarding lichen planus or any other dermatological disorders, you can probably leave your comments in the comment section below. Also, do like, share and subscribe. And in case you have any doubts, if you're not able to comment, leave it in the comment section below. You can also DM me. I'm available on Instagram. I go by the Instagram handle The Indian Skin Doctor. Also, if you want me to do any more videos on any other skin lesions, do let me know. Okay, and all the very best for your NEET preparation. This is a very hard phase, I know, but once you get through it, it's going to be all worth it. Okay, bye.